So we go with third type of report called ALV report. So ALV stands for ABAP list viewer, ABAP list viewer. Earlier, it is supposed to call as SLV. Earlier, it is to call as SLV, nothing but SAP list viewer. We discussed about the classical, interactive. Now this is a third type of report called ALV. So this ALV report, we can call it as a advanced reporting. This ALV report, we can call it as it is a advanced reporting, the comparatively the reporting which we discussed till now. The classical and the interactive which we have done, that is a traditional way. We do have two variant, I can say. Traditional way and the ALV way. ALV will be considered as advanced reporting. Advanced in the sense you get the many features in this ALV report. If you generate the output with the help of ALV, you will get the many advanced feature with the minimal code. And that's the reason we can call it as it is advanced reporting with the help of standard function model. Already you know meaning of function model. Function model are the piece of code, or it is a mini program, or it contains some source code. Based on the input, it will perform the specific operation task, and it will always return the result. And now what we are going to do, SAP has provided some set of standard function model. If you look at any object, maybe tables, maybe structure, many programs, function model, SAP has already provided many standard object in terms of table, in terms of structure, in terms of program, function model, function group, so on. If those object is suitable to your requirement, you can use them. If not, you can develop your own. Already we have seen how to develop the custom table, how to develop the custom structure, how to develop the custom program, how to develop the custom function model. Now here in this topic, we are using some standard function model provided by the SAP to achieve or fulfill the requirement or to generate the report. And whatever the report you are generating by using the standard function model given by the SAP, and those function model will be the part of ALV function model. Those function model will be the part of ALV, and whenever you achieve the output by using ALV function model, you will get the mini advanced feature by default without writing any extra lines of code. And those two function models are reuse, ALV, grid display, and the other one is reuse, ALV, list underscore display. These are the two different function model provided by the SAP to generate the output. So these two function model will be helpful for you to generate the output. But whenever you generate the output by using these two function model, you will get the many advanced feature. Now, what kind of advanced feature? Now, of course, in the if you go with the interview, they will ask you what are the features of ALV reports. What is the use of this ALV reports? Now, how you can compare this ALV with the classical and the interactive, which we done till now with the traditional way. Now, whatever the reporting, whatever the programs we have designed in SAP till now, those will be called as traditional way, means old way, traditional way, traditional, or I can say old method, or I can say way. And now we are going to generate the same report by using the ALV. This is a part of advance. In market, if you go to purchase any products, those product comes with the two variety, one with the local, one with the branded. Maybe same, dicto copy. Minor, there is will be a difference, but you cannot recognize that one. But one product branded will get it for the 1000, same product in the local market will get for the 100 rupees. But quality matters. Okay, if you getting the like structure wise, it might be the same, but you cannot get the same quality as which we are getting in the branded one. Branded will be having the finest touch, and the quality is very high. But if you go with the local market, it is very with the like cheap, like quality is very poor, I can say. That is what the things which we have done. It is a local way with the not with good quality. Now the same report we are going to achieve by using some advanced. So we need some advanced features. So that you can get it by using the ALV. Now that's the reason you can difference it with the traditional way with the ALV way. Traditional means everything you are going to achieve by using the loop, right? We have maintained the heading by our own by using the at first. Then we have calculated the subtotal by our own by using at end of. We have calculated the grand total by our own by using the at last. For everything we have written the code. But here you will get the same features but without writing the extra lines of code. That is what we have to have many features over here. Now very first one, with the ALV, user can display the field catalog. Field catalog is nothing but the field heading. Whenever you generate the output list, whatever the column you are displaying in the output list, for that column you are going to prepare the field headings. The same field heading in the ALV we can call it as a field catalog. So don't confuse field catalog nothing but the field heading for the column in the output list. Up to 90 column. Now you can ask me what is the new in this. Now if you go with the traditional way, now what is the width of your output list? It is 0 to 255 character. If I go with the traditional way, the width of your output list is 0 to 255 character. Now suppose you are printing some set of columns in the output list, and the width of each column, I'm saying width of each column is 20 character. Now you are printing some column in the output list, and the width on an average, I'm telling you, on an average width of each column is 20 character. Now within this 255 character, how many columns you can print? We can simply do 255 divided by 20. So maximum 12 to 13 column you can print. Max 12 to 13 column. Now let's assume the field column width is up to 25 character. Then how many columns we can display? I can say 255 divided by 25, maximum 10 to 11, 10.5 something. Now if your column width is up to 50 character, then how many you can display? You can say that 255 divided by 50, around 5 to 6 I can say max, not more than that, because this is the restriction. You cannot display the output beyond the 255 character. That is a limit during the traditional way. But if you go with the ALV way, you can display the up to 90 columns. Doesn't matter the width of each column. If your column width is 255 character also, each column width is 255 character. I'm telling you some example. Each column width is 255 character. Still, you can generate the 90 columns. You can display the 90 column in your output list. Next, using the ALV, user can display heading, Subheading in required format. You know, till now, whatever the output you have generated, in each output we have seen the column report heading. You have provided the column heading, also you have provided the report heading. How did we provide it? If you go with the control break statement, by using at first you can provide. If you go with the normal events in ABAP report, you can go with the top of page. You can provide the heading, but there you cannot differentiate the heading and the subheading. Now, what is the difference between the heading and the subheading? Heading comes with some larger font in a bold size with a different format. Subheading, it is smaller than the main heading. Then only you can differentiate the heading and the subheading. When we say the heading, subheading, heading comes with a larger font compared to subheading, so that we can differentiate between those two. But if you go with the traditional way, whatever the heading you are maintaining by using top of page, you cannot differentiate. Both heading, subheading comes with the same font, same size, same style. You cannot differentiate. But the same top of page, if you are using by using ALV, then you can maintain the heading, subheading, and you can differentiate it also. Heading comes with the larger font, subheading comes with some smaller compared to main heading. That is how you can differentiate. Next, user can display logo or image or graphics in report output list. So whatever the ALV output you are generating, with the help of same top of page, you can maintain heading, subheading. Sometimes user will ask you the logo, some images in your report output list. So that is possible only with the ALV. Next, using ALV, user can improve the performance by avoiding loops, or I can say nested loops. See, to improve the performance of a programming, we do have many various ways, multiple options. It is not really depends upon one or 2 points, but one of the major impact on the performance due to your loops. The number of loops you are using in your program, that much performance is going to be down. Then you can say that at least we need to use one of the loop, because whatever the data you are fetching from the database to your internal table, directly from internal table, it is not possible to display the output. You cannot take the data directly from internal table to your presentation. You must come via work area only. Work area is only the way or the options to bring the data from application to presentation. And for that, we need to make a loop on the internal table. But when you're going with the ALV, you don't need to go to work area. Directly from internal table itself, you can display the data. When you're working with the ALV, user can display the data directly from internal table. You no need to do it loop. You don't need to take to the work area. You don't need to use the right keyword to display the data. No. By using these two function model, we are going to directly display the data from internal table itself. Next, the main features of the main features: sorting, filter, total, subtotal, graphics, column alignment, and the exporting. So these are the main features of reporting: sorting, filter, total, subtotal, graphics, column alignment, exporting. Now you can ask me what is the new thing in that. Whatever the report we have generated, there also we sorted the data either in ascending or descending. Filter, however, based on the selection screen input, we are going to filter the data. Total also we have calculated by using at last. Subtotal also we have calculated by using at end of. What's new thing in that? Maybe graphics, column alignment, exporting. These are maybe the something new terms for me. But sorting, filtering, total, subtotal, we have already done. What's new in that? See, for doing any of this activity, you need to write the extra code. To do the sort, you need to write the keyword called sort. To do the filtering, you need to write the explicit where condition. To do the total, you need to use the at last. To do the subtotal, we need to use explicitly at end of. But when you go with the ALV, these features you will get by default. You no need to write any extra coding. With the ALV, you will get these features by default. You no need to write any extra coding. Graphics is nothing but what? You know, might have seen some data in pie charts. Pie charts, you might know the pie charts are nothing but something like graphical representation of your data. For example, see, pie charts means displaying the data in this format. These are the part of pie charts. This is one of the this is also part of this pie chart. There are various options. See, this is also part of pie charts. This is also pie charts. So this is also data. The data is represented in the format of graphics. So whatever the report you have generated, the report which we have generated, there is no options to display the data in pie charts. But if you are going with the ALV, you can generate your output in the pie charts. So that is a part of graphics, and that option you will get by default. You no need to do any code change. Next comes with the column alignment. Column alignment is nothing but what? Whatever the columns you are printing in output list. Suppose here it is my first column, second column, third column, so on. Now this is your output has been generated. Now suddenly user is saying that I want this first column in a third position, third column, second column in a fourth position, and the fourth column in first position. Something like he want to shuffle the columns. Does it mean you need to change the code? It means you need to change the code. But if you go with the ALV reporting without changing the code, you can align your column wherever you want. You no need to go for the code change every time. Without changing the code, you can change the column position. Next comes with exporting. With this, you can download the data in different format. Whatever the data you are printing in an output list, that data you can download into multiple format. Download the data in format like Notepad, Excel sheet, HTML format, so on. And these features you can get by default when you're using the ALV function module to display your output. Next comes with, so here I can say for all above features, we need to write extra lines of code in traditional reporting. But whereas in ALV, we will get this feature by default. Even though if you don't want, system will give that option for you. Next, the main important thing is layout management. Layout management. For example, you have generated this report. Let's assume you have generated this report. In this report, you do have the 9 columns. First column, second column, third, fourth, so on. You do have the different columns. Now this report is being used by the user 1. Now the same report want to be used by another user, but he don't want all the column, he want only few column from this, like the column number 1, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Whatever the report you have generated, this this report you have generated for the specific department. In the department you do have the multiple users. Now the user 1 is using this report, he want all the column, but user 2 don't want all the columns from that report, he want only few columns. Now similarly, the same report want to use by the third user, again he don't want all the column, he required only few column like 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Now if you go with the traditional way, in that situation what you need to do is you need to copy the program into three different parts. Program number 1 is going to be copied into program 2 and the program 3, and accordingly, like as per the user requirement, you need to change your code and you need to generate the output. Logical part will be the remain same, only for that output list you need to change the code. It means the number of user is having the different column approach in the output list, those many programs you need to copy, those many number of programs you need to copy. But that is not a good option, because you are copying the same program again and again, means unnecessary or consuming the memory. That is a bad idea. Now instead of doing this one, if we go with the ALV, your logical part will be remain same. Only output list you can generate separate. Without touching the code, you can generate the output list which contain the set of required field which you needed for your requirement. That you can do by using the layout management. I can say generate the separate output list with required set of fields without changing the code. So layout management, it will be used to generate the separate output list with the required number of fields or required set of fields which you needed for your department without touching the code. If you want to achieve the same job with the traditional, you need to write the code for that. Now lastly, again the most important one, using ALV, user can generate. So it will generate the output in tabular format. Tabular format means properly you will get the data in the format of rows and the column. Now whatever the output we have generated till now, it was a plain sheet. Now you will get the proper rows and the column in this format. So here we do have the column heading, and here we do have the data. This is a part of tabular format, table format. So these are the different features of ALV when you are going to generate the output list by using the function module provided by the SAP called reuse underscore ALV underscore grid underscore display, whereas reuse underscore ALV underscore list underscore display. And if you use these two function module, you will get this default features. I will show you. We'll go with the example. Next, again in the ALV we do have the type, and before that, if I want to work with the ALV, what are the steps? I can say steps to work with ALV. So I can say maintain ALV declaration. Then comes with maintain field catalog internal table. Then comes with maintain event internal table. So this is the approach when you are working with the ALV report, means what we supposed to do or what I supposed to take care when I'm working with the ALV. Very first you need to declare the ALV, then you need to maintain the field catalog. We need to prepare in the format of internal table. Even you need to prepare the internal for the event as well. Events same, your initialization, acceleration screen, starter selection, top of page, end of page, so on. Then comes with maintain output characteristics. And then finally we are going to display the data. So nothing to worry when we go with one of the example, not this one. In the next example, you will get the clear idea what is the meaning of maintaining the field catalog internal table, maintaining the event internal table, so on. So we do have 5 types of report: classical, interactive, and the ALV, plus SAP query and the LDB report. Now again in the ALV we do have the types of ALV reports. So very first, simple ALV. In the simple ALV, we do have classical ALV and we do have interactive ALV. We do have classical ALV, we do have the interactive. It means whatever the classical report and the interactive report you have generated, that is the traditional way, old fashioned, old way. Now the same classical report, same interactive report means with a different example, we will generate by using ALV. And you can feel the difference yourself after generating. And the next type of report is blocked ALV. And the third one is hierarchical sequential ALV. Hierarchical sequential ALV. So we do have 3 types: simple, blocked, and the hierarchical sequential ALV. In the interview, they will ask you the features also. They will ask you the types of report also. They will ask you for the individual function model also. I discussed with the two: reuse underscore ALV underscore grid underscore display. Similarly, reuse underscore ALV underscore list underscore display. Not only these two, there are many more which is dedicatedly working for the ALV report. Now, if I go with the blocked ALV, there we do have the different set of ALV function model. If I go with the hierarchical sequential ALV, there is a different set of function model provided by the SAP to achieve the specific type of report that we will discuss during the respective example. But you need to recall all. Now we go with the simple ALV. In that simple, we will discuss with the classical ALV. Now we go with the simple. In that, we will discuss with the definition is same. The entire output will be generated in one single list called basic list, and the type of report we can call as a ALV. The entire output will be generated in one single list called basic list, and type of report called classical report. Same, the definition is remains same. You will be having the single list, but this time you can generate the output up to 90 column. There is no any restriction. You can generate the column up to 90 columns, I can say. Up to 90 column. In the traditional, you do have the restriction. You can generate the output up to 255 character, and this we can call as a basic list. Now we can go with the requirement, or I can say example. Invoice details report. We do have the input s underscore Belnar, and we do have s underscore Budat. The Belnar is nothing but the invoice number. Budat is nothing but the invoice date, the date on which the invoice has been generated. Okay, and we do have another block, header and the item. Header and the item. Invoice comes in both the business process. Whenever we received any requirement, that requirement is totally based out of business process. Now, invoice comes under which business process? It comes under the purchase also. It comes under the sales also. Now, what is the process of business? Like, what is the business process of MM? Very first, the purchase requisition, thereafter, request for quotation, thereafter, purchase order, goods received, and the invoice. So in the purchase case, we are going to verify the invoice given by the seller. But actually invoice is going to be generated in the sales process. In the purchase process, it is going to be verified. Now, what is the business process of sales? Inquiry, quotation, sales order, delivery, shipment, and the invoice. During the sales case, whatever the invoice has been generated, during the sales case, it is going to be generated. In the purchase case, same invoice is going to be verified. Now, exactly we wanted to know which invoice. Do you want to generate the invoice of purchase, or you want to generate the report for the sales invoice? Now depends, because in the purchase case there is a different set of table, in sale case it is a different set of table. Now which invoice you want to generate, either vendor or customer? Either you want to generate the vendor invoice or the customer invoice. Now here if you look at during the purchase case, I can say MM. The tables are RBKP and the RSEC. So this is your header table and this is your item table. Now in the SD, it is VBRK and this is VBRP. You just recall the business process with the table T codes which we discussed. There you'll get the things. And this comes for the vendor. And this comes for the customer. Now you let me know, either you want to generate the vendor invoice or you want to generate the customer invoice. If you're generating the vendor invoice, then you need to work with the RBKP RSEC. Header table RBKP, item table is RSEC. If you're generating for the customer, then you need to go with the VBRK and the VBRP. Now here the requirement is what? Whenever I provide vendor number, sorry, Belnar, nothing but the invoice number, something like 5120, or I can say 5100 to 5120. When I provide the input along with the date, or it is the optional one. If I select the header, then my requirement is it should display the data from RBKP. And if I select the item, it should display the data from RSEC. You can take any pair. If you want to generate for the customer, go for the VBRK and the VBRP. If you want to generate for the vendor, go with the RBKP RSEC. So I want to generate for the vendor. So I'm taking the RBKP and the RSEC. So whatever the input you have provided like Belnar and the Budat, and if I select the header radio button, it should print the data from RBKP. And if I select the item radio button, it should print the data from RSCG. Now, if you are printing the data from RBKP, what should be the column? I don't want to print all the column. Now, this is the output. So I need the fields like Belnar, Budat, RMWWR. When I select the header radio button, it should print the data from RBKP. So these are the data from RBKP. These are the data from RBKP. And if I select the item, it should print the data from RSCG. See, during the sales case, the invoice will be generated against the sales order. And during the purchase case, the invoice will be generated against the purchase order. So here I want the invoice number. I want the purchase order number against your invoice has been generated. Item number, material number. If you want, you can go for the description also. And you can go with the price also. So these are the fields from the RSEC. I'm taking only few for randomly. Now, if you want, you can take a different field also. This is your RSEG. So when user click on header, it should print the data from RBKP. If I select the second radio button, it should print the data from RSCG.
This conference will now be recorded.
So we need to go with the example. Now, same approach, like whatever the approach you have followed till now, same thing. You need to declare the selection screen. You need to declare the two structure, one for the RBKP, one for the RSCG, because we are generating the two different output list. Then based on the structure, you can create the work area, you can create the internal table, then you need to fetch the data while displaying. Either you want to follow the traditional approach or ALV. It's up to you. But here we are following the ALV approach. I will show you if I generate the same output with the normal way, how it will be look like. If I generate the same output list by using the ALV, what is the difference? Now I will go with the SC38 to generate the output. I can say ZA0. I can say invoice report. Now, whatever the classical and the interactive report we have generated, as I discussed, along with the development, you need to take care about the performance. Both things should be run in parallel. It doesn't mean that first you will generate the report, then you are going to divide it. No, don't do like that. That is our initial approach. I have shown you in that way. But now, while developing the report itself, we will follow that modularization technique. So this is the main program I'm going to create. So this is a report for vendor details. Type executable should be saved. I will save it in a local. If you want, you can save in a TR. So I'm going to generate the new TR, something like this. So this is a vendor wise invoice list. Save. Now this is a new TR. It has been generated 124. Click on enter. Now very first, what you need to do, you need to create the two include. One is for the declaration. So I can say include. Ending with, you can take anything. I'm taking DEC here. And the second one is something like form. But usually we will go with the top and the F01. So one include for declaration of your data objects and selection screen. And second is for subroutine. See, you no need to declare the include two times. I will show you alternative way. You can do in this way and go with the comma, right? You can do in this way also. Done. Now I will create both the include. Double click on this, create object, yes. So this is the include for declaration of your data object. Now I'm going to save it in the same package and the same tr. Now here I'm going to declare the tables. I'm working with the RBKP and the RSEG. And then we are going to create the selection screen. Begin of block B1 with frame title text hyphen 000. Then we will go with the select option S underscore Belnar for RBKP Belnar, and then comes with S underscore Budat for RBKP hyphen Budat. Then selection screen is going to be end. So this is our first block. Now similarly we need to create the second block. In the second block we do have the two radio buttons. So this is the block 2 and this is with the 0001, and here we are having the two radio buttons. Parameters P underscore a radio button. I can go with the header HDR radio button group. You can take anything. Group name could be anything. So there is no meaning of single radio button. There is no any meaning for single radio button. Radio button should be more than one. If it is more than one, then it should be group, and that group name could be anything. Similarly, RB underscore ITM, nothing but item, radio button group ABC. Block 2 is going to be end with end block. And then I need one more radio button for the checkbox. I need the checkbox underscore ALV as checkbox. Save pretty printer. So the reason behind to declare the tables is during the for case, it is not able to make a reference. So we need to specifically tell him that RBKP is my table. But actually you no need to declare the table. So what is the alternative way which we follow in real time is we will declare the two variables. One with the Belnar type. Either you can refer to the table name hyphen field name or you can refer to the data element. So I'm referring to the data element. Then gv underscore budat type budat. So in the RBKP table, the Belnar field data element is RE Belnar. So I'm declaring one variable with reference to this data element. I'm declaring this budat with reference to this data element. So in the RBKP, the data element for the budat is budat itself. Okay. So I'm taking the budat. Now instead of referring to the table name hyphen field name, you can refer it to the data object you have declared. Something like this. Now you no need to declare the tables. So this is the approach which we follow in real time. So don't get confused. Instead of declaring the tables, we will declare only those fields, and based on that fields, we are going to declare the selection screen fields. Right? Now don't think like this is during the ALV in the traditional way we'll declare the tables. No. This performance approach is common for all. Now we will create the second one include. I can say include for subroutine, save in package, save. Pretty printer and activate. While activating, make sure that you are activating all in one single go. Otherwise, you will get the weird message. You are not able to fix that one. Now, if I click on execute, see two selection screen input fields, two radio button, and one checkbox. So what is my intention? If I select this checkbox, then it will generate the output with the ALV format. Otherwise, it will generate the normal traditional ways. Just I want to differentiate you how traditional way output will look like, how your ALV will look like, right? Now, if you want to rename these fields, you need to go with this text hyphen 000. So this is a part of selection input. This is a 001 selection option, or I can say invoice header or item, means which data you want to see. Then comes with, I will select these two checkboxes. See, for these three fields, CB, ALV, RB, HDR, RB item, these dictionary references disable. You will get this dictionary reference enable only when if you are referring to any data object, maybe table name hyphen field name, maybe data element, something. So during this case, I'm not getting. So you need to type it manually. So generate the ALV list. ALV list, and this is for invoice header, and this is for invoice item. Activate, go back and execute. See, invoice document number, posting date, header, item, and the ALV list. Right now, we go with the start of selection. So I can say perform get data, and then we can say end of selection, perform display. Now while display, I will check either that CB, like whatever the radio button, sorry, checkbox you have created for that ALV list. I will check if CB underscore ALV is equals to X or not. It means we were checking that checkbox is selected or not. If that checkbox is selected, then I want to generate the output in ALV format. Else, I will generate the normal output. Getting my point? I'm checking that checkbox is selected or not. If that checkbox is selected, I will generate the output in ALV format. Otherwise, I will generate the output in normal traditional way, the approach which we followed till now. Now, of course, whatever the output you want to generate, now here I want to generate the two different output list. And for that, you need to create the structure. Based on that structure only, you're supposed to create the work area and the internal table. But here, whatever the structure which we wanted to create, that structure can be created in SC38 also. That same structure can be created in SC11 also. As we discussed already, the structure can be created in SC38, the same structure can be created in SC11. Approach is remain same, the usage is also remain same. Only the difference is that the structure which we create in SC38 cannot be reused. The structure which we create in SC11 can be reused. So we are deciding to create the structure in S11. For this time, we are decided to create the structure in S11. So go to S11, we will create the structure ZA0 something 00 RBKP underscore S. Go with the create structure. I can say structure. This is for the report invoice header. So Belnar, RE Belnar, Budat, RMWWR. Saving in a same TR, right? Now this object again dependent on the same report. So saving in a same TR. Now if I go with the RBKP, you do have the, see, this is RMWWR. So we have taken Belnar, Budat and the RMWWR, nothing but amount. And for this is a currency key, WAERS. So I will take that one also, VS. So we go with here, that is a part of RBKP and the VS. Save and activate. Done. There is a warning, you can just ignore. Now similarly, I'm going to create another structure that is a part of RSEG. Go with create, structure. This is a part of report, invoice item. Save. See. So field I need Belnar, Belnar D, Eblin, Eblip. Then comes with Matner. So I need to check it over here. RSEG. So we are taking Belnar. The data element is Belnar itself. Eblin, Eblip. Then we do have the Matner. Here we don't have the description. If you want to get the description, you need to take it from the MAKT. Then we need to go with the WRBTI, that is a part of currency. Then if you want, you can go with the Menge and the BSTMG. Unit, purchase order unit. Can you see? Otherwise, you can go with the mains also. Anything is fine. So I will go with MAKT X. Then comes with Menge, mains. Then WRBTR. And if I go with this currency and quantity reference, see, you need to take RBKP wares. So here also we'll take the wares. And if I go with this currency slash quantity, I can say RSEG mains RBKP WAERS. Save and activate. So I have created the two structures. So based on structure, we will create the work area here. Sorry, work area and internal table both. Now if you look at here, I'm creating work area underscore RBKP. Type your structure name. Work area underscore RSEG. Type this. Similarly, I'm going to create the internal table RBKP. Type table of this. IT underscore RSEG. Type table of this. See, you can create the structure in S11, SC38. Usage is remains same. Only the difference is reusability. The structure which we created in SC38 cannot be reused. And the structure which we created in S11 can be reused. I just wanted to show you all the possibilities. Then, now we will fetch the data. While fetching, we will fetch the data together. But while displaying, we will display separate. So I'm going to create this subroutine get data, and this I want to create it in include call ending with form. This is dedicatedly created for the subroutine. So we are going to fetch the data. Select Belnar, Budat, RMWWR, WAERS. From where? RBKP into where? IT underscore RBKP, where Belnar in S underscore Belnar and Budat in S underscore Budat. Right? Now I can say if. See, as a part of performance tuning, which we discussed, there are many topics like you should divide the main program into number of parts with the help of modularization technique to make it more manageable and the more reusable. Avoid the select star. You should not use the select star. Do not write the select statement within the loop. Avoid using the loop within the loop. That is a part of nested statement. Again, one more thing. Always sort the internal table before you make a read on that. So whenever you write the select statement, make a habit of writing the Saisabasi. Saisabasi is equals to 0. Always After the select statement, make a habit of writing the Saisa-Basi check. Of course, that is a part of if condition. And this if condition should not be empty. To like, of course, if you're writing the if condition and if that if condition is empty, again it will show you the SLIN error or the EPC error. It will show the error in extended program check or the SLIN check, we can say. So you should not keep this if condition blank. So what should I write? Always write the positive statement. So what we do is in real time is we will write the sort keyword. After the select statement, make the if condition, and that is a part of Saisa-Basi, and that if condition should not be empty. So we are writing some positive condition like sort. Now, if it underscore rbkp is not initial, then we are going to fetch what are the columns we do have. Like this. Belnar, Eblin, Eblip, Matner, MAKTS, Menge, Mains, WR, BTR, and the VS. Now we are fetching the data from two different tables, RSEG and the MAKT. So here I can say from RSEG is going to be inner join with MAKT. On RSEG Matner should equals to MAKT Matner. Then for all entries in IT underscore RBKP, where Belnar is equals to IT underscore RBKP Belnar and SPRAS is equals to Silang. Again, if Saisa-Basi is equals to 0, then I can say sort IT underscore RSEG. See, whenever you are working with the inner join, you will get an error. That error is related to the ambiguous. Means if the same field exists in both the table, then it will be a confused. Like from exactly which table we need to get that field. Right? Now here we are getting this formatting error. That's fine. Now we will, at least we will implement this in perform and we will try to activate the program. So go back. I'm going to double click on this. Like this. Okay. Now we will activate. We will check either that select statement is correct or not. See, we need to say that. What is the error it is showing? You cannot use an internal table as a work area. See, when we say into, it will take the data into work area. When we say into table, it will take the data into internal table. So here we have mentioned the internal table name and we are specifying only into. So that's the reason it is saying that internal table cannot be used as a work area. So we need to say that into table. So here we have not used that into table concept. I can say into table it underscore RSEG. Now activate. Now while activating, make sure that you're activating all. Can you see the column name ambiguous and exactly in which row it is having the error? Your cursor is blinking and that line only. Rest of the columns are unique in each table, but this Matner field is available in RSEG also. Matner is available in the MAKT also. So system is confusing like from which table you need to take the Matner. So in which column you do have the error, you can mention in that row only. No need to specify all the column. See, he's saying that where's field is not available either in RSCG, neither in MAKT. So this is available in RBKP. So here we need to write one more inner join RBKP on RSEG Belnar is equals to RBKP Belnar. Now again you will get the ambiguous error. What it's saying? The column name Belnar is ambiguous. So he's asking from exactly which table we need to consider that Belnar. Now activate again. The internal table is wrong. RBKP. Again, this Belnar is ambiguous. So we need to say that exactly which Belnar you need to get it compared. Again, Spras is ambiguous. We need to get it compared with MAKT. So what we learned in this example, during the inner join case, you need to specify the table name, tilde symbol, field name only when it is ambiguous. In rest of the case, it is not required. If you want, you can provide it, but it is not required. When system show the ambiguous error, then only specify the table name, tilde symbol, field name. Otherwise, not required. So we have extracted the data from both the table together. Now you can ask me, in the selection screen, we do have radio button, header and the item. Now you can ask me, during the header case only we should select the data from RBKP, and when I select the item, then only it should fetch the data from RSEG. Why don't we return the independent select statement? Why we are writing the select statement at the same time? And during the fetching of data from RBKP, we are directly comparing the selection screen input with the RBKP. But while fetching the data from RSEG, we are fetching based on the IT underscore RBKP. Why so? See, in the selection screen, whatever the input fields are there, like Belnar and the Budat, of course, Belnar is common in both the table. You do have the Belnar field in RBKP also, you do have the Belnar field in the RSCG also. But you don't have that Budat field in the RSCG. Then how you can filter? Not possible, right? Suppose you are selecting the item radio button, okay, and you are passing the input in both the fields, Belnar and the Budat. Now, how you can compare that Budat data in this RSCG? Not possible, and your data will not, you will not get the accurate data if you are directly comparing the selection screen input with the RSCG. You will not get the correct data. So in that situation, this is the approach which we need to follow. First, we'll fetch the data from RBKP by comparing both input from selection screen, and based on this IT RBKP, we are fetching the data from RSCG. So this is the reason I have written. Now you can ask me why, like if I select the header, it should get only header. Now in this case, both, like if you're running for the header, if you're running for the item, it will fetch the data from both the table. So you can add one more condition. You can say that, and make sure that your radio button ITM is also selected. Then only you can fetch the data from RSCG. Otherwise, do not fetch it. So this makes sense, right? Now come back. So we wanted to see the output in both normal and the ALV. We wanted to see the data in both normal and the ALV. So first we will go with the normal. Again, we are saying if RB underscore HDR is selected, then what we are going to do? RBKP into work area underscore RBKP. Then we should use at first to maintain the column heading. At first, then I should use uline. And that is a lengthy procedure. I won't go in that way. I will directly print the data. Work area underscore RBKP hyphen Belnar. I can go with Budat. RMWWR WAERS. Right? So this is with the traditional way. The Belnar is fine. 10 character, 20. This is fine. This we can go with the 70 character. Now this is with the RB header. Now we can go with the else. We can say loop at IT underscore RSEG into work area underscore RSEG. We can say work area underscore RSEG hyphen Belnar. ABLIP, then comes with Matner, then MAKTX, then I can say Menge, then unit, then WRBTR, I can say WAERS. This is the traditional way, right? Now, if I go with the ALV way, your approach is different. So I can use if RB underscore HDR is equals to X, else what should happen? Okay. Now I told you that this time we are using a function model provided by the SAP called reuse ALV grid display, or you can use reuse ALV list display. 95% case both are going to do the same job. There is a small difference between the grid display and the list display, but for time being at this situation both are going to do the same job. I can use reuse ALV grid display. So this is the standard function model provided by the SAP. So what it will do, he will generate the output in tabular format. So reuse underscore ALV underscore grid underscore display, it will generate the output in tabular format with the proper rows and the column. When we say the tabular format in the proper rows and the column, in the row you will be having the data, in the column you will be having the field heading. Now let's assume, of course, you're staying in society, and if you do have the neighbors, and of course when we get up in the early morning, we do have the habit of having the tea, coffee or something, and when you started the gas you have added the milk, the sugar, the tea powder, maybe the coffee, so and so, and suddenly gas got empty. Then of course I need the tea, and if your neighbor is very close to you, very friendly, then you can request them, this is a scenario and this is what happened, and already I have added everything, can you just please boil it for me, can you prepare it for me? We cannot order them, we can request them. I have already added everything and suddenly gas got empty, can you please prepare for me? So they can just boil. See, everything is yours, they're just helping you to prepare. Same way, reuse, ALV, grid display or list display, these are the part of neighbors. Everything is yours, that will only help you to rearrange. It means in the row you do have the data, means you need to provide the data to them. In the columns you do have the field heading, you need to provide the field heading. He will just prepare it for you. Now where is your data? See, whenever we call any function model, some parameter will come as commented, means these are optional, and some parameter will come as without commented, it means mandatory. So in the tables, you need to pass your internal table data. Where is your data? My data is in IT underscore RBKP. And whatever the standard function model is you're calling, those are comes with the default exceptions are a part of error handling. If you're deleting, that's fine, but you do not delete this one, just keep them open, that is a part of standard error handling, right? So data you are giving, now how you are managing the field catalog, where that fields catalog or field heading supposed to come? Normally in traditional way, by using at first we are going to provide the heading, but here in the exporting parameter we need to pass the callback program name and you need to pass the structure name. See, in SAP, all objects are independent, including your function model also. But when you're calling this function model in your program, so this function model is supposed to work for your program. It means you need to provide your program name. So you need to say that you are going to work for my program, and this is your program name. And here you need to pass the structure which you have created in S11. Now you are saying that I want to create the structure in SE38 and I want to pass the SE38 structure name. No, it will not work. So you must pass the structure from SE11 only. And rest of the parameters are optional. You can use them based on your requirement. This is what reuse ALV grid display. And during the else part, I want to call list display. I want to show you both the function model, how they behave. Reuse ALV list display. Again, the exporting parameter, callback program name, structure name. So your structure is RSEG and your callback program name is this one. You need to pass your main executable program name. Should not pass the subroutine name. Sorry, include program name. You should pass the main program name. And here your internal table data IT underscore RSEG. Okay. Now save and activate. That's it. Your program got activated. Now what we do, we will take a test data from the RSCG table and we will run the program. I will take a random data. Can you see this 510560121? I'm going to place a breakpoint over here. Click on execute to 20. I'm just passing the random data 1201 to 1220. So here header radio button is selected and I'm not selecting this ALV checklist. Click on execute. Now here if you see, it's going to get the data. So based on selection screen input, I'm trying to fetch the data from database. So we have extracted the data from RBKP. So we do have total 20 record. The range which you have passed, there are 20 records. Now we are going to sort it out and we are checking which radio button is selected, header or item. HDR. Okay, so header radio button is selected. We are not fetching the data from RSCG. We are just skipping it out. Now we are checking either this CB underscore ALV checkbox is selected or not. Of course, it is not selected. So we will run the normal way. Of course, it is looping the data from internal table to work area and we are going to display. So this is the normal way. Now, if I generate the same report by using the ALV, now you can see the difference. So here, as usual, we are fetching the data. So my data is in internal table IT underscore RBKP and we are going with this function model called reuse ALV grid display. And this function model is going to work for your program. And here we are passing the structure name, which has created in S11, and we are passing the internal table name where he is having the data. And if I click on execute, this is the ALV output. The advantage of ALV, the feature of ALV is you can display the data up to 90 columns. Doesn't matter of the width of each column. Next, you can maintain the heading subheading. So here we have not maintained. We will go with a different example. Then the third one is you can improve the performance by avoiding the loops. Here we have not used the loop. Directly from internal table, we are displaying the data. The main important features of reportings are filtering, total, subtotal, graphics, column alignment, and the exporting. Now here you can see your data is already in sorted format because there we have used the sort keyword. Now I want to sort in descending order, in a reverse order. Can you see this sorting? This is in the ascending order, this is in the descending order. If I select this one, your data is get sorted in descending order. Already we have filtered the data based on the selection screen input, but still I want to filter the data based on the date. Now you can select this column, you can go with this option, set filter. Now he's asking, so I want to filter the data based on a specific date, 12/01/1998. So you will get the result of only that date. Now I want to calculate the total. Select the column and you can go with this E symbol. When I do the total, you will get the one extra column called E/E. That is a part of subtotal. If you want, you can do the subtotal also. Next comes with, you can download the data in Excel format also. Suppose if I click on Excel, it should download the data in Excel format. I do have the issue with my Excel, so it is not opening, but usually if you look at for any other system, it will download. That is a part of exporting. Otherwise, you can download the data in different format also. Can you see this local file? You can download the data in rich text with the tabs, unconverted. These are the part of Notepad only. Rich text format, even this is a part of Notepad. You can download in HTML format. You can copy to your clipboard. Means it is something like Control V, and you can do, sorry, Control C, you can do Control V somewhere. Suppose if I go with this rich text with tabs, it will download the data in TXT format, but Notepad. I'm going to download it in desktop, generate. Now, if you go to the desktop, you can see the results. Can you see? Document number, posting date, gross amount, currency key. Now, you can ask me how this heading is coming. I have not provided the heading anywhere. Now, if you just go back and come again, did I maintain heading somewhere? No, right? So this heading is coming from that structure which you have passed and the structure which you have created in SA11. You know, I have created the structure in SA11. This is the structure. And this structure and that internal table having the same number of column, and the sequence is correct only because that internal table itself created based on this structure. Now what's that function model will do in runtime? It will come to this structure. Whatever the field you have maintained in a sequence, it will go to the respective data element. Under the data element, whatever the field label you have provided, that field label it will consider as a column heading. inv dot doc dot number. So it means it is taking the field label from this. If your column width is between 10 to 15 character, it will take it from the medium. Now suppose if I increase the column width, your label also get changed. Can you see? It has changed to invoice document number, means your column width is between 20 to 25. So it is taking this one. Now if you make it short, label will change. Can you see? DOC number. It is taking either from this or from this. So that's the reason you should provide all field label. So by passing the structure in that function model, he will come to this. So you should not pass the structure from SC38. It will not take. The structure must be from SC11 only. Okay. Similarly, now I'm going to generate the item list. First, I will show you without this ALV, how it is generating. Now this time we are fetching the data from RBKP. After fetching the data, we are checking this IT underscore RBKP should not be empty. Plus this RB item should be selected. Of course, this RB item is selected. It's fetching the data from RSEG into your table IT underscore RSEG. And from there, we are going to check either this CB ALV is selected or not. Of course, it is not selected. It will go to this else part. And in the else part, again, we are checking header selected or item. So it is item. Looping the internal data from internal table to work area, from work area to screen. Now, can you decide which column indicates which one? We need to provide the column heading explicitly, and that is very tough job. But if I go with the ALV, so we are fetching the data from RBKP. Based on that, we are fetching the data from RSCG, and then we are using reuse ALV list display, reuse ALV grid display. See, even parameter also same. Can you see? No difference. Interface check, bypassing buffer, active buffer, callback, PF status, user command, top of page, HTML top of page, HTML end of page, structure, grid setting. Same thing you can see here. See, buffer bypassing, active program, status, user command, structure, same. Parameters are 90% of both the functional are going to do the same job. Slight difference that we will see later. And see, this is your ALV list format. But graphical wise, the grid is colorful. This is not so colorful. But of course, your data is in the row and column format. Right? Now see, again you can do the sorting, filtering, then you can do the total. Now suppose I want to do the total of this amount. You can select E. And if you scroll down, this will work like a at last. If you want to do the total of this quantity, select E. See the subtotal of quantity. Sorry, total of that quantity. Now I want to calculate the subtotal. Subtotal, it is a part of at end of. Can you see? E, after the E, you can get in this E slash E. That is a part of subtotal. Now, based on what you want to do the subtotal? Do you want to subtotal based on the material? Either you want to make a subtotal based on the purchase document number. Either you want to do the subtotal based on the document number. Select that column and make this E slash E. See, it has calculated the subtotal. Based on this document number, this is the subtotal. Based on this document number, this is the subtotal. See, these features we are getting by default without writing the extra lines of code. And after that, you can download also. Go with this. Now this time I want to download with HTML format. Enter. In a desktop, I can go with 1, 2, 3 again. Generate. I can go with 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if you go to the desktop, see, this is your data. You'll get the many default features when you are going with the ALV, which you cannot get during the normal case. So now here what I'm doing, I will delete. See, whenever we call you the function model, some parameter, of course, some parameters are optional, some are mandatory. Whatever the parameters are optional, you can just delete them. If you are not using, just delete them. This we can call as a grayed out code or the dead code. Don't keep the dead code. Just delete them out, which you don't require. Like this. Just delete them, which you don't require. Like this. Like this. Now activate. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to check the program. At least I should not have the error. Warning is fine. See, I do have the 3 warnings. If I double click on this, and that is related to the currency and quantity. That is related to the currency and quantity. So what you need to do here, so already we do have the currency field, and we need to say that currency, this same thing we need to provide here. Currency is this, and this is for unit, this, and activate. Now you don't have any error. You must be having some warning. 1 plus 4. If I double click on 1, syntax check, the enhancement modification type structure is not consistent. This is related to the standard table itself. You have nothing to do with this. It is saying that the enhancement specification for the structure type RSH is not consistent. That is related to the some standard. You don't have any issue with your program. If I go with this 4, do not declare the field symbol globally. Make it local as much as you can. Now you know you have declared this work area globally. You should not declare this work area globally. Now what I will do is, at least this work area I can declare locally. Okay, so I will declare locally. At least this work area I can declare locally. Internal table, of course, that must be global only. Now you might be having only 2 warnings. See, most of the warnings we have fixed. See, there are no, I told you that whatever the if conditions you do have, that must not be empty. You must write some executable statement. If statement should not be empty. Now there is a message. Can you see there are no executable statement between the if and if? Now you can ask me, sir, we have already written. So this if statement of that function model, whenever we call the function model, that function model will be having some exception, and based on that you need to manage the message. Now if you want to bypass, you can just write the message anything. I can say message error while generating the ALV output list. And the type of message, I can say E. The same message you can write here also. There must be some executable statement within this. See, those two has gone now. But there are two messages again. What it is saying? So it is saying that string without the text element means you have hard coded this one. Hard code will not be allowed. Hard coding is not will be allowed. So what you need to do is I will go with the text element, text symbol. I can say something like E01. Activate. Now go back and you can say that E01. And the same thing you can provide here. That's it. Now go back. No errors. Only 1 plus 2. There is a proper justification for this. The first warning is related to the standard RSCG table that we cannot fix. And 2, you should not declare all the variables globally. So he's asking make it local. But for those two internal table has been used in two different subroutines. So we cannot make it local. So that is fine. And this is something related to the, the column position which you have provided. So this is for that. But we don't have the options to fix it. So you can be.